Hey, welcome to 3DHP. I'm out in the shop today, and I've got the Genmitsu 4040 Pro CNC router kit from SainSmart, and we're going to get this assembled and talk about it right after this. Time to unbox and get going. Okay, for my first test, I've got Candle loaded up on my computer here. I've got their logo SaneSmart and Candle, and I've got the machine manually homed at X, Y, and Z right where I want it. I am not using the touch probe at this point. I simply got it down exactly where I wanted it. I'm using my blue tape and super glue activator method for holding down. When you use metal clamps, that's a bit killer. That's the greatest way in the world to bust a bit, is if you have a metal clamp holding it down. Plastic clamps would be a lot more advisable, but personally I like using blue tape. And as you see in these pictures right here, you put the blue tape on the bottom, put the blue tape on the top surface, put your super glue on the bottom, and your activator on the top. I drew a line to get it perfectly straight. That way you just press it in place, give it a few seconds, and it's good to go. That way there's no clamps in the way. And yeah, let's test it and let's see how we get going. Let's get going here. Let me hit run and we should be good to go. And here we go. It's alive! We'll come right back when it's near completion. I don't have a time-lapse camera set up at the moment, but so far so good, looking good. And let's take a look at the screen real quick. And it shows you on the screen where it's engraving. That's really tiny. Don't even need a vacuum cleaner with this, just blow it off. And SaneSmart is going to be sending me out their 65mm spindle mount so I can put my Makita on this soon. So in my follow-up video, or videos, I'll have my Makita router on here. But this little spindle seems to be doing real good. Good little job. Guess that's it. Didn't need to come back and show you, so yeah, it came out good. Real tiny. Good little test job. Very cool. Okay, we got a test file of a wheel here. It's like speeds at 6,000 RPM. Let me take my wireless mouse over. Now, one thing cool about a wireless mouse, put it right on what you want to do. Have your wireless mouse in hand. Walk over to your job when you're watching it. Click the left mouse button and run the job. Here we go. Yeah, I had that a hair too close to scratch the surface there. You can see the tool path and candle where it's running the cut. And your dark line is what it has not done yet, and as it turns to a real light gray, that's where it has cut. Let's blow it off and see what we got. Yeah, I know, don't say you do that good. Yeah, it looks good. So I think we got one more demo print we can do, and then we'll move on to something else. Pretty cool. Now for these tests, I'm simply manually jogging. You see step, test, and feed right there. I got steps set at 10 millimeters. I'm simply jogging the machine over from where I want it. You can hear it running behind me. I jog it over, I get it exactly close to where I want it. Then when I bring the Z down, which would be up or down right here, just take the steps, come down to 1, get it close, and then bring it up, and then you can fine tune it to get it right where you want it, just like with a paper check. You want it to get right just to barely grab that paper and not be digging into the wood. And then you come up here to the top, you zero out the X and Y, zero out the Z, and when you're ready to go, you're good to start the job. And that's without using a probe and doing it all manually. And it's very simple to do. So let's set this over on 10. Let's see where we want it. Now see, I'm manually jogging it over 10 at a time. Now I'm going to bring it a little closer to the edge. Let's see, bring it down a little bit. That's pretty good. And then for the Z, I'll bring it down to increment of 0.1. Get it right above the work surface. Put your mouse over top of it, your wireless mouse. You can walk over to your work if you want to tape this or watch it, and click send. Well, the Genmitsu 4040 Pro CNC from SainSmart is a pretty cool little hobbyist CNC. It's not commercial grade. It's perfect for the hobbyist. I would recommend buying this over a 3018 any day of the week. It has, let's see, the build volume on it is, let me think about that for a minute. It's 15.75 by 15.75 by a little over 3 inches. When I get the 65 millimeter mount in the mail, I'm going to be putting my Makita trim router on it, which is a lot bigger and heavier. I've done a couple little test prints with it in Candle. It's done really good. As you can see by this picture here, when you use a probe and you have to plug it in on the back here behind the gantry, people might say, well, I got to unplug that in and out, the wires are going to break. Yeah, if you keep plugging in and out, you are going to break a wire, then you're going to have to mend the plug. So the best thing to do, I was watching James Dean Design on this video, and he has a lot of great videos on CNCs and working with Carbco and a lot of great tutorials. He printed out, he designed a little box that'll be on Bangs. I'll have a link below in the description, and I'll show you a picture here on the screen. Simply take double-sided tape, put double-sided tape in the little box on the back of the gantry here where everything plugs in. I'll show you a picture, and put it in there. It's out of the way. You don't ever have to unplug it. Plug it in the first time, you're done. One and done. You don't have to ever unplug it. You don't have to worry about breaking the wires, and that's no longer a negative. If somebody might say, well, yeah, it's going to break the wires. They should have used a different type of plug, or they should have this, they should have that. No matter what you buy or what you get, there's always going to be something that you or somebody else isn't going to like. You can't make everybody happy, so you have to deal with what's out there, and you like what you got. If you want something different, well, then buy something different. But so far, I've only done 3 cuts on this. It's all aluminum construction. The steel tubes on it, which are hollow, they're tubes. Working with lead screws seems to be great. Every time you do a job and you're done using the CNC, I recommend cleaning everything up, wiping down the rods, vacuuming everything up. You don't want nothing to clog up the bearings or get any debris inside the bearings. They are sealed bearings, but you will get debris in there, so always clean up when you're done and you go on to your next project. The spoil board, as you've seen in the videos, when you put the spoil boards on, you'll see when you flip the boards over, as shown in this picture right here, that you can see the bottom of the bolt. And when you turn it back over, you'll see that the holes on the edge are countersunk. Be sure you put your spoil boards on in the proper orientation. That way when you screw down the bolts that are on the front and back edge, they are countersunk maybe 1/4 of an inch. They go down pretty far. You definitely want those all the way in and get that in the correct orientation. Some people may choose, and I keep saying the word I've got to try not to do that. There's different ways you can mount this. You can take off the aluminum extrusion on the front and rear that runs left to right, and you can take off the spoil boards that it comes with. You can mount this directly to your work surface if you choose to, but it keeps it perfectly square if you use what they supply. In the center, there's a slight bit of give. If you have a lot of pressure, it's going to give slightly. That's simple. Just grab a piece of scrap wood, that's the correct thickness, stick it underneath the center. If you want, glue it on. If not, simply slide it in and you're good to go. When you bolt this together, all the bolts go together very easy in the aluminum extrusion. In my personal opinion, once you get it set up and running and it's working fine, I would get some blue Loctite and take out each bolt one at a time, put a little bit of blue Loctite on it, and re-snug them. That way they don't back themselves out from all the vibration on the machine. Do not use red Loctite. Never, never use red Loctite. Only blue Loctite. That way if you ever need to get them back out, they will come back out. Use red, they ain't coming out. So take that with a grain of salt. Blue Loctite would be the way to go. Once it's up and running, you can take care of that. What else? I didn't say I said what else. Yeah, it's pretty cut and dry, very simple to put together. As you've seen here in all the pictures when I explained it, take you like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. It won't take very long to put it together. You don't need to fly through it. The booklet is very colorful. It's got plenty of pictures and it explains how everything goes together. If you've never had a CNC before, on the USB stick that comes with it, you plug it into your PC. Whether you have a Mac or Windows, you install the driver, the CH driver that you need for this, and you either run it with a UGS, Universal G-Code Sender, or Candle. It comes with a 3-month subscription to Carbco makes, which is normally $15 a month if you pay monthly. So I got a free 3-month subscription to Carbco makes. That's very nice. So you would design your project in Carbco makes, put it on the USB stick, bring it to the computer or wherever you're at in your garage. It is tethered to my computer via 15-foot USB cord. And you load up UGS or Candle, run the job. If you choose to use a bed leveling sensor, that works great. Or you can simply do what I did. You can go to the bottom left corner of your work or the center of your work, wherever you choose to, however you designed it in your design software. Come bring the blade right down, do a paper check, and you're good to go. Now, if you're going to run multiple bits and do multiple passes for different things, it's best not to do it that way. You want to be precise, so it's highly recommended that you use a touch probe that comes with it. And like I say, I haven't used it yet, but I've used them before. I know it's going to work fine. And pretty cool little machine. You can manually move the X, Y, and Z around. It's got knobs here, so you can fine tune it, crank them up out of the way, whatever you need to do. Front, rear, like I say, they're on the 4-stepper motors. They're NEMA 17s. I wish they were NEMA 23s. The machine would move a lot faster, but it is what it is. And they do have other machines by Sane Smart that have NEMA 23s. Not this one, but other ones. It's perfectly fine the way it is. It has hold downs. If you want to bolt this down to your work area, you can bolt it down. An aluminum plate front and back. Just make sure the wire in the rear doesn't get in the way when you go to drill that. You can put little bolts in to bolt it down. On the side of the machine, on the control box, it has a 24-volt power adapter. It plugs into the side. If you don't like that, if that triggers you and you don't like that sticking out, go on Amazon, buy an L-shaped adapter, stick it in there, and then the plug will be at a different angle. Because I have this on a larger work surface than the machine itself, this doesn't bother me. It doesn't hurt anything. I'm not going to bump it. It's perfectly fine. On the front of the machine here, where the wire comes out, where you have a reset button and a power button, this wire does not get in the way. I simply turned it out of the way, and I put a cable connector right here with a little nail, and I bent it out of my way. Perfectly fine. And like I say, the spindle mount, this is, I believe, let me look at my screens. I'm actually reading some of my stuff off the screen over there. This spindle speed gets up to 9,000 RPM. It's fairly quiet, as you heard in the video. It's not that bad, but then it's a tool. Tools make noise. Have you ever had a skill saw? Skill saws scream. Did it again, I said But when they send me out the spindle mount with a 65 millimeter spindle, I'll be putting my big Makita on this. Should they have used linear rails here on the Z? Yeah, maybe. They didn't. That's their choice. Will I have much flex? Yeah, there might be a little bit of flex. Can you do aluminum with this? I haven't, but yes, you can do light aluminum. Would you want to mount this to a steel table without a spoil board? No, because if you're milling aluminum and you want to cut something all the way through, the minute your bit goes all the way through, you're going to bust your bit. So even if you mount it to a steel table, you'd want to have some sort of a wooden spoil board underneath your material, so when you cut through, you have somewhere to go. I would suggest, and which I'm going to probably do on this one, is I got some 1/4 inch MDF I'll probably be putting on the top of this. I'll use the blue tape method and secure it. That way I don't tear up the original spoil board. Yes, these are meant to be replaced, but they're already tapped, pre-drilled, no reason to go and tear it up. I'll just put something on top of it that's a little bit thicker. But I guess that's about it for everything I can think of. I mean, I don't really have any negatives. It worked fine out of the box. It was very well packaged. Not much, nothing bad I can say. Just go over there. I'll put a link, like I said, in the description, where I believe it's on Bangs, where James Dean Design shared this little box that you can put the probe in, and just get a piece of double-sided tape, put that on, you're good to go. But it comes with extra bits, got some extra parts. It has metal hold downs, which I didn't put on it. They're kind of finicky, they're real small, they're metal, they're bit killers, I don't like them. Even a professional occasionally makes a mistake, and if he hits one of his metal clamps, he's going to break his bit. So either use plastic hold downs, or use the blue tape method, like I did here. You know, you put down blue tape on both sides of your work surface, put super glue on one side, spray it with activator another, line it up, stick it down, you're good to go. When your job is done, pry up a corner, it'll peel right off, and it's perfectly fine. And that's probably how I run most of my jobs, like I did with my prior MP CNC, which sat on this in the enclosure. Now I have a shop vac here. I'm probably going to hook, I'm not sure if I'll put a dust boot on it. They do sell other accessories, and they're coming out with more stuff for this and their other CNCs. But I'll probably hook up a shop vac to it. I'll probably put it back in my enclosure to keep the noise down. I completely took the enclosure apart that I had here so I could get this set up. But yeah, I plan on doing many videos on this. I love this little unit. It's really killer. And let's see, the cutting area is 400 by 400 by 78 millimeters. And that translates into 15.75 inches by 15.75 inches by a little over 3 inches. But yeah, it's plenty big for what I need at the moment. And for anybody that's looking to get into CNC, like I said earlier, I think this would be a perfect unit for you. I think it would be a perfect place to start. 3018, yeah, it's too damn small. Yeah, I have one sitting behind me, and it's just a little bit too little. This is a nice beginner size right here to work with. Perfect for making gifts and presents for Christmas or any occasion for anybody. But like I say, if it's over 15 3/4 inches, it's, you know, you have to get a bigger machine. But really cool. Hope to have a lot of fun, do a lot of videos on it. Please like, subscribe, share, and until the next one, you have an awesome day. Happy cutting. Later.